You're not lazy, you're not broken, you're not weak. But you might be protecting something sacred without even knowing it. Carl Jung called it the shadow, the part of ourselves we exile to survive. The emotions, desires, fears, and truths we're told not to feel. You didn't choose your shadow. It was shaped by the culture around you. And because it was shaped without your permission, it still waits for your conscious reclaiming, not to erase what happened, but to choose what happens next. As a child, you were raw, expressive, alive. Then came the rules. Don't cry, don't yell, be polite, sit still, work harder, don't feel too much. And so you adapted. You dimmed your light to feel safe. You performed to feel loved. You numbed to feel in control. And the parts of you that didn't fit, you buried them. Somewhere deep inside, the younger version of you still holds that flashlight, waiting for you to come back and say, you're allowed to feel. You're allowed to be. But here's the truth. What we bury doesn't die. It waits. It waits in silence, in symptoms, in patterns, in that invisible weight that follows you from room to room. Your shadow doesn't hate you. It's trying to protect you in the only way it knows how. Every time you self-sabotage, it's not your weakness showing. It's your protection mechanism overreacting. It says, if I hurt myself first, no one else can. Think of this, period. You sit down to write, or speak, or love, or lead. But instead of flow, you feel stuck. You scroll, clean, get distracted. Then you blame yourself. Why can't I just do it? But underneath, the shadow is whispering, if you finish this, they'll see you. If they see you, they'll judge you. If they judge you, you'll break. So it's safer to stay unseen. That's not laziness. That's protection. I want to tell you about a man named Malik. By all appearances, he was successful, financially stable, reliable, quiet, controlled, but inside, numb. Every evening he came home and opened his laptop, not to create, but to watch others create. He used to play piano, jazz, freestyle, fluid. Now, he doesn't even touch the keys. He says he's too busy. But when asked what he misses most, sound, he says, his shadow isn't silent, it's grieving. Or Sophia, a leader, a mother, always in motion. To the world, she's powerful. But inside, exhausted. She hasn't felt her own breath in months, because if she stops, she's afraid she'll disappear. As a child, her value came from being useful. So rest feels dangerous. Asking for help? Impossible. She calls herself driven, but her shadow is the one whispering, if I don't do it all, who will I be? Different stories, same signal, different lives, same wound. The shadow wears many faces, but the message is always this: please see me before you silence me again. Shadow doesn't scream, it whispers. And the longer you ignore it, the louder your distractions get. Maybe for the first time in a while, you're not scrolling past this. You're staying. And in that pause, something ancient inside you exhales. Let's pause. Take a breath, because you are not lazy. You are layered. And right now, a deeper part of you is listening, maybe for the first time in years. Jung said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. The shadow is not your enemy. It's your invitation, your beginning. Still curious, still willing to meet the parts of you you once abandoned. This is where the real work begins. Let's talk about integration. Shadow work isn't about fixing what's broken. It's about reclaiming what you forgot was yours. The feelings, the instincts, the dreams. They didn't die. They went quiet. So how do you begin to meet them again? Start with this. Step 1. Name your resistance. Next time you avoid something important, pause and ask, what am I afraid would happen if I followed through? Don't say, I don't know. Sit with it. Wait. The shadow speaks in delayed truths. Step 2. Let it move through the body. Avoidance isn't intellectual, it's physical. Feel where you tighten, where you freeze, where you leave yourself. Then breathe. Touch your own chest. Say, you are safe now. It might feel strange, but your body hears everything your mind tries to ignore. Step 3. Turn the fear into ritual. Light a candle before a task you avoid. Put your phone in a drawer with reverence, not guilt. Begin your project like a prayer, not a punishment. The shadow responds to reverence, not shame. Let me tell you about Elena. She's a poet, but hasn't published in years. Not because she doesn't write, but because every time she finishes a piece, she erases it. Why? Because once in college, someone called her work indulgent. Just one word, one moment. But her shadow believed it, and it became gospel. So now, every time her truth tries to rise, the shadow says, don't be too much. Until one day, she did something small. She printed one of her poems, read it aloud to herself, and cried. Not because it hurt, but because she remembered. This is the power of return. It doesn't take grand gestures. It takes honest ones. Let's return to you. If you've ever said, I just need to try harder. I want to offer something softer. You don't need more effort. You need more allowance. The part of you that feels frozen isn't unmotivated. It's unmothered. Jung said, your vision will become clear only when you look into your heart. Who looks outside dreams. Who looks inside awakens. So ask yourself, what have I been calling laziness that might actually be fear? What have I labeled as failure that might actually be protection? What if you're not stuck, but standing at the doorway to your next becoming? You're not late. You're not failing. You're not wrong. You're remembering. And remembering takes time. If this message resonated, subscribe to The Inner Shift. Comment, I'm remembering. And send this to someone who needs a softer mirror. Because your shadow isn't your shame. It's your signal. And it's time to listen.